Hello everyone, this is Goosebumps Godzilla, and today I'm going to be talking about the main antagonist from A Nightmare on Clown Street, and his name is the Frightener. And so basically in this video I'm going to be trying to figure out his origins and who he possibly could be. And so before I continue though, spoiler warning for A Nightmare on Clown Street, which is in the Goosebumps Most Wanted series, and also some very minor spoilers for a Give Yourself Goosebumps book, Scary Birthday to You. For that one, it's just minor spoilers. I'm going to be talking about one of the endings to the book, and also its main antagonist, Dr. Macbeth. And so, those are basically the two books I'm going to be talking about. So, if you have read those books, then you're good to go. If you've only read Nightmare on Clown Street, then I think you're pretty good to go as well. But that was just a warning, just in case you haven't read Scary Birthday to You and you really don't want anything to be spoiled. And also, at the end of this video, I have an important announcement that I need to say. But anyway, guys, let's get started into the theory. Okay, so in A Nightmare on Clown Street, it is revealed later on, like pretty much close to the end of the book, that our main protagonist, the Frightener. And so basically, as a child, he was afraid of clowns. And so now that he is older and stuff like that, he wants to get his revenge against the clowns. So he locks them up in a prison cell and makes this whole special prison area for clowns. And then he puts some of them in a gladiator arena where they will be attacked by like a bear and a squid. Like a giant squid and giant bear and stuff like that for entertainment. And he also, makes them go to birthday parties and work there. And he gets the money for their work. That is pretty much the Frightener's little main goal in the book. And that's all he really does. He's really not that great of a villain, in my opinion. It sounds kind of like a cool villain, but he's really not that cool. And that I did not like the twist. I wouldn't Murder Clown be so bad as the villain, because I'm terrified of clowns. So I thought that'd be a great, little Goosebumps book. And I really want Stein to have another go at making another clown Goosebumps book and making the clowns really scary and making the main antagonist a clown, because this book really wasn't that, it just didn't live up to the expectations that I wanted. But anyway, so basically that's the Frightener. And another problem that I have with him, other than he's really not that scary, he's kind of a wimpy villain sort of, is his goal against hating clowns. Okay, I get it, he was terrified of clowns as a child, but now he wants to ruin these people's lives, kidnaps them, makes money off of their work, and invites all his friends over to watch them be massacred by a giant squid and a giant bear. Is not really that right. I mean, you could be terrified of clowns, but will you go to that big of an extent to ruin all these people's lives just because they are clowns? It doesn't really make any sense. Also, another thing that doesn't really make any sense, why most of the clowns don't call the police on this and all that stuff. I mean, I get it, the guy seems like he's rich since he has his own personal prison for clowns, and he has a giant squid and all that stuff, but, I mean, he should be caught by the police or something. Like, one of the clowns even vaguely references the area where the Frightener keeps his prisoners and stuff like that. One clown actually references that to a child. And so the fact that no one ever really calls the police is just kind of weird. But that's kind of beside the point. What I'm trying to figure out today, guys, is why the Frightener has such a hate for clowns. I mean, it can't just be, I was afraid of clowns as a child, so now I want to ruin all these people's lives. And so I'm going to try to figure out who and why the Frightener, who the Frightener is and why the Frightener hates clowns so terribly much. And so, really, there's not really that many candidates to this position, because there's not that many Goosebumps characters that I could find in the Goosebumps universe, since that's the only way I could try to figure out who the Frightener is that have had experiences with clowns. At first, I thought he may be part of the Marine Institute, sort of, that you see in Deep Trouble. Because, first off, they're rich, and this guy's rich. They're about to pay the doctor $1 million and stuff like that for a mermaid. And so that's kind of shows a sign of richness. And in the book, we do see a giant squid monster, so I thought maybe the Frightener may have somehow been related to that Marine Institute or whatever, the zoo, in deep trouble that wanted the mermaid. But I kind of ruled this out and didn't really want to mention that as like my ultimate proof and all that stuff. That's where the Frightener came from, and it's not really telling us about who the Frightener is and stuff like that. So I didn't really classify that as a piece of evidence, really. And so, really the only person that I could conclude that has a possibility to be the Frightener is the main protagonist in Scary Birthday to You. So I'm not going to get into that many spoilers for the book, since I only said some minor spoilers. But basically, in this story, it's your birthday, and your parents send you a clown named Dr. Macbeth, who is basically a really evil clown that tries to murder you multiple times during the book. This is a Give Yourself Goosebumps book, so there's several different endings that you can take. But pretty much Dr. Macbeth is this evil kid. He twists up one of the main protagonist's friends. He tries to murder you in some of the endings and succeeds in doing so. He's this just really bad clown that is trying to ruin your life. And so that's who I think the Frightener could be. That would make sense, because Dr. Macbeth is the evil clown. He tries to kill you on multiple occasions, and he tries to ruin your life. And so if I was the Frightener, then that would give me a solid reason to hate all of clowns and try to put them in a slavery area. It's a lot better than I was afraid of clowns as a kid, and so I put them all in prison cells and ruined all their lives, and watch in enjoyment as I murder them using a giant squid. So, there's all that. I think if this is the case, that this is the main protagonist from all the Give Yourself Goosebumps books, because technically, in all the Give Yourself Goosebumps books, they all have the same protagonist, which is you, which means you, the reader, are the main protagonist. But let's just say the main character in Scary Birthday to You is the Frightener, because that makes a lot of sense. It would make sense for his motivations in this book, and how he's terrified of clowns, and how he wants to ruin their lives, all at the same time. And also, there's some huge pieces of evidence, actually, to prove this from one of the endings of the book. Because you see, in Scary Birthday to You, there is an ending that I just read, actually, off of Goosebumps Wiki. I have read this book since, that I'm filming this, live. Not live, but, on this little camera instead of doing it on the computer. But, basically, in this little story, in one of the endings, you actually take Dr. Macbeth's place. You become like an apprentice of Dr. Macbeth or something, and then you completely overshadow him, become rich, and all that stuff. And so, honestly, if I was the main protagonist, I would not copy Dr. Macbeth and all that stuff. And it also says you do safer techniques and stuff like that for humans. And so what I honestly believe is that this is actually the Frightener's schemes from the Nightmare on Clown Street. Because you get it, he's rich, he's more successful than Dr. Macbeth. You sort of become his apprentice and you become successful in these safer ways. But I don't think you would become a clown yourself and do all those acts. Because, you're almost getting murdered a bunch of the times by a clown yourself. So I think that would explain how the main protagonist in Scary Birthday to You gets successful in his clown business, is that he gets all these clowns, as said in the book, and makes them do all the parties and stuff like that. He makes the money off of them, and since there's a bunch of clowns in here, he would make a bunch of money, so he becomes more successful than Dr. Macbeth. That is for sure. And he's doing it in safer ways, because the clowns in this book are not hurting people. And so anyway, guys, that's the end of my theory. I'm so sorry that this one was a little rushed. It's kind of late for me It's not really late. I've done videos a whole lot later, sadly, but, you know, I'm just really tired today, so I'm sorry if this one's a bit rushed. I'm really sorry about that, but here's my special announcement. So, you know, usually I do videos like once every 2 days or so. Other times I do it like once every 3 days or so, but for the most part I do a video once every 2 days. But lately I'm kind of getting busy for about a month or so. I'm going to be really busy, and so I'm not going to be able to upload as much as I want to. And so I just want to kind of warn you that I'm probably going to release maybe a video once every week or so. Hopefully, I may accidentally like not make one and do it 2 weeks or so, but that's going to be a very low probability. I'm going to try my best though to upload once every week. But for the next month or so, I'm going to be really busy, so forgive me if I don't answer comments or not make a video lately or anything like that. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, comment down below who you think the Frightener is. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and that is the end.